The jungle on Verdanth 9 was silent in a strange way, as if the planet itself was holding its breath. Tall black trees reached toward the sky, their thick roots twisting like frozen snakes. Fog moved slowly between them. No birds sang. No insects buzzed. Every living thing knew this place and feared it. Ethan walked alone. He was a human explorer, sent with a small survey team to map the outer zones of the planet. But when the scanners failed and the comms went dead, the team turned back. Everyone did except Ethan. He stayed behind to finish one last route. He believed fear should never decide the truth. His boots pressed into wet soil. His breath was calm, but his heart was not. Every step felt watched. Then he saw it. At first, he thought it was part of the forest. A dark shape, tall as a tower, standing still among the trees. Thick vines and heavy chains wrapped around it, binding it to an ancient tree at the center of a clearing. The chains were old, covered in symbols that glowed faint red. It was not a tree. It was a giant alien. The creature was massive. Its body looked like stone mixed with muscle. Long arms hung low, fingers touching the ground. Deep scars covered its skin. Its head was bowed, as if in shame or pain. From a distance, it looked dead. Ethan's suit scanner beeped once, then went silent. Power interference. Ethan whispered to himself. He remembered the warnings. The local aliens had spoken in fear. They had refused to come near this place. Their voices shook when they talked about the monster of the tree. They said it destroyed cities long ago. They said it drank life from the planet. They said its heart never truly slept. No one goes near it, they had said. No one survives. Ethan swallowed. He wanted to turn back. Any smart person would. But something felt wrong. The monster moved, just slightly. The ground trembled. Dust fell from the branches above. Ethan froze, his hand hovering near his weapon. The giant alien lifted its head slowly. One eye opened. It glowed dull blue, not bright, not angry, just tired. Very tired. Ethan did not raise his weapon. He stepped closer. The chains tightened as the alien shifted, and a low sound came from its chest. Not a roar, not a growl, a weak, broken sound, like a failing engine. Ethan's scanner came back to life for a second. A red warning flashed across the screen. Heart rate, critical life signs. Ethan's breath caught. It's dying, he said softly. This was no monster attacking the world. This was a prisoner, a wounded one. The giant alien's chest rose and fell with great effort. Each breath seemed harder than the last. Its skin was cold, cracked in places like stone under too much pressure. The glowing symbols on the chains pulsed in time with its weak heartbeat. Ethan felt his hands shake. If the stories were true, then freeing this creature could doom the planet. If they were lies, then leaving it here would be murder. A sudden sharp sound cut through the air. Defense drones. Ancient machines rose from the ground around the tree, their red eyes locking onto Ethan. A mechanical voice echoed through the clearing. Warning, approach is forbidden. Ethan raised both hands slowly. I'm not here to fight, he said, knowing the machines did not care. The giant alien looked at him again. This time, both eyes opened. There was no rage in them, only pain. And something else. Hope. The alien tried to speak, but no sound came out. Its head dropped again, heavy and weak. The heart scanner flashed once more. Heart rate dropping. Ethan made his choice. He stepped forward, crossing the invisible line everyone else feared. The drones powered up, weapons charging. The ancient tree began to glow, energy moving through its roots. The jungle shook. Ethan stood between the machines and the dying giant, his heart pounding louder than the alarms. If I'm wrong, he whispered, then I'll pay the price. Behind him, the giant alien's heart gave one last weak beat, and then silence. Silence filled the clearing after the giant alien's heart stopped. Ethan felt it before he saw it. The air grew heavy, thick like water pressing against his chest. The ancient tree behind the alien began to glow brighter, its roots pulsing. With slow red light, the defense drones hovered closer, their weapons fully charged. Critical state, the mechanical voice repeated. Subject termination imminent. Ethan did not move away. Every instinct screamed at him to run. This was no longer a rescue mission. This was an execution site. The drones were not here to protect life. They were here to erase a mistake from history. Ethan looked up at the giant alien. The creature stood frozen, its massive body held upright, only by chains and the ancient tree. The glowing symbols burned brighter now, reacting to the stopped heart. Smoke rose from the alien's chest as if the body itself was breaking down. Ethan opened his medical pack with shaking hands. "Come on," he whispered. His scanner flickered again. Life signs were gone, but something else remained. Deep inside the alien's chest, a faint energy pulse still existed. Not a heartbeat. Something older. Something stronger. Ethan remembered his training. Humans were fragile compared to most alien species. Their bodies were weak. Their strength came from choice, from doing what others would not. He stepped closer to the alien. The drones reacted instantly. Blue energy beams locked onto his body. A timer appeared in his visor. 10 seconds. Ethan raised his voice. "I will take responsibility." The machines did not answer. He placed his hand against the alien's chest. The skin was cold, rough like stone. No movement. No breath. Ethan activated his emergency device. It was never meant for this. The device was a human-made tool designed to restart damaged power cores in crashed ships. It used a direct energy pulse taken from the user's own life support system. It could save machines. Sometimes, it killed the human using it. Ethan had only seen it used once. He adjusted the settings manually. Energy transfer. He said. The device began to hum. Pain hit him instantly. His suit drained power to feed the pulse. Warnings filled his visor. Life support. Decreasing oxygen. Fall in core temperature. Aracene's Ethan screamed as the energy surged from his body into the alien. The ground cracked. The chains glowed white-hot, fighting the sudden change. The ancient tree reacted violently, roots snapping out of the soil like living limbs. The drones fired warning shots, burning the air beside Ethan's head. "Stop," the mechanical voice commanded. Ethan did not stop. He collapsed to one knee but kept his hand pressed against the alien's chest. His vision blurred. His breath came fast and shallow. Then a deep sound echoed through the jungle. Boom. The giant alien's chest moved. Once. Then again. A heartbeat. Slow, heavy, powerful. The energy pulse spread through the alien's body like fire through stone. Cracks in its skin began to close. The dull blue glow in its eyes returned, brighter than before. The chains screamed as ancient systems failed. The drones froze. "ERROR," the mechanical voice said. Unauthorized revival detected. Ethan fell backward onto the ground, gasping for air. His suit was nearly dead. His body felt empty, drained to the core. He looked up just in time to see the giant alien move. The creature lifted its head fully now. Its eyes locked onto Ethan, not with anger, not with fear. With recognition. The alien raised one massive hand, slowly, carefully, as if afraid to break something. The ancient tree shook violently. Its glow shifted from red to gold. Symbols changed, rewriting themselves. The drones powered down one by one, dropping lifelessly into the dirt. Ethan tried to speak, but no words came out. The alien leaned forward, chains still holding it in place. A deep voice, broken and rough, vibrated through the ground itself. "Human." The single word echoed across the jungle. Ethan smiled weakly. Against every law, every warning, and every fear, He had made the choice no human ever had, and the galaxy would soon feel the consequences. The jungle did not calm after the heartbeat returned. Instead, it changed. The air grew warm, filled with a deep vibration that moved through the ground and into Ethan's bones. Leaves shook. Fog lifted. The ancient tree behind the giant alien glowed with a soft golden light now, no longer red and angry. Ethan lay on his back, staring at the sky between the branches. His suit barely worked. Every breath felt heavy, like lifting stone from his chest. He was alive. That was enough. The giant alien moved again. This time, it did not struggle. It stood still, breathing slowly, as if learning how to live again. Each breath made the ground rise and fall. The chains around its body remained tight, but they no longer burned. The glowing symbols on them faded, losing power. The alien looked down at Ethan. Memories returned to it like a flood. Long ago, it had stood free on this planet. It was not a monster then, it was a guardian. Its kind were born to protect life cores, ancient living systems that kept worlds alive. The tree was one of them. When outsiders came with fear and weapons, they misunderstood everything. The guardian fought to defend the tree. The galaxy called it a threat. They chained it. They drained its heart. They left it to slowly fade while the planet weakened. The alien remembered the pain. It also remembered something new. The human. Ethan struggled to sit up. His arm shook. He failed and fell back into the dirt. The alien noticed immediately. It lowered its massive body as much as the chains allowed, bringing its face closer to Ethan. Ethan felt fear, but it did not control him. "You're awake," he said quietly. The alien studied him, the small body, the weak armor, the broken suit, and yet, this human had given life without asking anything in return. The alien reached out again, slowly, carefully. Ethan forced himself to stay still. The massive hand stopped just short of touching him. The alien closed its eyes, then opened them again. When it spoke, its voice was deep but gentle, like thunder held back. "You gave what was yours," the alien said. Ethan swallowed. "You were dying. That fate was chosen for me," the alien replied. "You changed it." Ethan laughed weakly. "I don't think the galaxy will like that." The alien's eyes darkened. The galaxy feared what it did not understand. A sharp sound echoed from the jungle. Movement. Ethan's single quotes, as smile faded. He tried to reach for his weapon, but his suit had no power left. The alien sensed it too. Hunters. Not ancient drones this time, but living forces. Alien soldiers sent by the Outer Council, drawn by the sudden energy surge. They believed the monster was awake again. They believed they had come to finish the job. The alien straightened, chains rattling. Its heart beat stronger now, sending energy through the ancient tree. The roots glowed brighter, feeding the planet again. "I cannot break these chains yet," the alien said. "But I can protect." The ground split as roots rose around Ethan, forming a shield of living stone and light. Ethan stared in disbelief. "You're protecting me?" he asked. "You are under my care," the alien replied simply. Energy weapons fired from the trees. The roots absorbed the blasts. The jungle itself pushed back, vines snapping around attackers, forcing them away. The soldiers retreated, shocked and afraid. Ethan watched it all, breathless. "You could have let me die," he said. The alien looked at him again. "You did not." For the first time since landing on Verdunth 9, Ethan felt something he had not expected. Safety. The alien leaned closer and spoke words meant only for him. "My heart beats again because of you," it said. "Until these chains fall, I will stand, and when they do, the galaxy will remember what humans chose to be." The jungle grew quiet once more, but this time, it was not fear that filled the silence. It was respect. The silence did not last long. High above the jungle canopy, the sky split with light. A sharp blue line tore through the clouds, followed by a deep roar that shook the planet. Ethan felt it in his chest before he saw it. Ships. Not one, not two, a fleet. Sleek alien warships hovered in formation, their shadows crawling across the forest floor like dark waves. Bright symbols burned along their hulls, the mark of the Galactic Council. They had felt the Guardian's heart beat again. They had come to take control. Ethan forced himself to stand. His legs shook, but he stayed upright. The giant alien remained bound to the ancient tree, glowing with steady power. Roots and vines moved slowly around them, ready but calm. "They're not here to talk," Ethan said. "No," the Guardian replied. "They rarely are." A beam of light dropped from the largest ship, forming a tall hologram in the clearing. Several alien leaders appeared, their forms sharp and cold. Their eyes locked onto the giant instantly. "There it is," one of them said. "The threat has returned." "It was never a threat," Ethan shouted, his voice small but firm. The leaders ignored him. "Guardian-class entity," the lead voice continued. "You are ordered to power down. Your existence is a danger to galactic stability." The Guardian lifted its head fully, chains creaking. The ancient tree behind it pulsed, sending energy into the planet. The ground felt alive again. "I protect." "What gives life?" the Guardian said. "Your fear does not change that." A murmur passed through the holograms. "You drained entire worlds," another leader accused. "No," the Guardian answered calmly. "I healed them. You mistook balance for destruction." Ethan stepped forward, despite the pain. "You left it here to die," he said. "You chained it and called that justice." One leader finally looked at him. "Human, step away. You are irrelevant." The word hit harder than any weapon. The Guardian reacted instantly. The ground shook. Roots rose higher, forming a living wall between Ethan and the holograms. The Guardian's voice deepened, filled with controlled power. "He is under my protection." Silence followed. No one in the galaxy had ever said those words about a human before. The fleet's weapons powered up. Energy hummed through the air. The jungle responded, glowing brighter as the ancient tree pushed life back into the soil. Dead plants stirred, broken ground healed. "You see?" the Guardian said. "This world breathes again." The leaders hesitated. Data streams appeared beside them, flooding with new readings. Planetary life levels rising. Core stability improving. Atmospheric balance returning. Their story was falling apart. "This changes nothing," the lead voice sighed. "We will contain you." They fired. A massive energy blast struck the Guardian's chest. The chains flared, absorbing most of the force, but the impact sent a shockwave across the clearing. Ethan was thrown backward, crashing into the roots behind him. Pain exploded through his body. "Ethan!" the Guardian roared. The ancient tree responded. Golden light erupted from the roots, surging upward like a storm. The blast was pushed back, swallowed by the planet itself. The fleet's ships rocked violently, systems failing one by one. The Guardian stood tall, chains glowing white-hot now, cracking under pressure. "I will not attack you," the Guardian said. "But I will not let you take him." Ethan forced his eyes open. He saw the Guardian holding the energy back, not to fight, but to shield. The leaders stared in disbelief. "This is impossible," one whispered. The Guardian turned its gaze to them. "You fear power," it said, "but you should fear choice. A human chose mercy. That choice awakened me." The chains finally snapped. One by one, they shattered, falling to the ground like dead metal. The Guardian stepped forward, free for the first time in centuries. The jungle bowed. The fleet began to retreat. Ethan lay still, barely conscious, as a massive shadow fell over him. The Guardian knelt and gently lifted him, cradling the small human in one hand. "Rest," the Guardian said softly. "The galaxy has knocked. Now it must listen." Above them, the ships fled. And across the stars, A new truth began to spread. Ethan woke to warmth, not the sharp heat of energy or fire, but something deep and steady, like the sun through closed eyes. He opened his vision slowly. The jungle canopy above him glowed gold and green, alive in a way it had not been before. He was not on the ground. He was resting in the giant guardian's open palm. The massive hand was steady, careful, as if holding something fragile beyond measure. Ethan tried to move and felt pain across his body, but it was fading. The guardian's energy flowed gently around him, repairing what it could. "You live," the guardian said. Ethan managed a weak smile. "You caught me. I would not let you fall," the guardian replied. "You stood when even my kind fled." Ethan looked around. The chains were gone. The ancient tree stood tall and calm now, its roots sinking back into the soil, spreading life across the clearing. New green growth pushed through cracked ground. But peace did not last. Sharp alarm echoed through the air, not from the jungle, from the sky. Ethan's visor flickered back to life for a moment. A warning message flashed. Galactic Intervention Force. "Inbound. They're coming back," Ethan said. "Yes," the guardian answered. "Not to destroy, to control." The sky darkened as a new fleet appeared. These ships were different, heavier, armed not just with weapons, but with suppression fields designed to silence entire worlds. "They will try to bind me again," the guardian said. "This time, they will not fail easily." Ethan felt fear rise, but also anger. "They're wrong," he said. "And someone has to tell them." The guardian looked down at him. "They do not listen to guardians or monsters." Ethan took a slow breath. "Then let them hear a human." The guardian hesitated. No being had ever asked a human to speak for them before. Ethan sat up despite the pain. He activated his suits. Last working function, a broadcast signal. Weak, unstable, but enough. The fleets locked onto the guardian. Suppression fields began to deploy, invisible walls pressing down on the jungle. Trees bent. The air felt heavy again. Ethan raised his voice. "This is Ethan Hawley, human explorer," he said. "You're making a mistake." A hologram appeared above the clearing. Council commanders watched him with cold interest. "You interfered with a classified containment," one said. "Step aside." "You chained a living protector and called it peace," Ethan replied. "This planet was dying because of you." Data streams appeared, life readings, planet recovery levels. Proof spreading across the channels. The commanders hesitated. "He is dangerous," one argued. Ethan shook his head. "He protected me when he had every reason not to. He healed the world instead of destroying it." The guardian stood tall behind him, silent, letting the human speak. "You fear what you can't control," Ethan continued. "But this being chose restraint, and I chose to help. That choice saved this planet." Weapons remained locked. Guardian felt the suppression field tighten. Power pressed against his body, trying to force him down. The ground cracked beneath his feet. Ethan stepped forward, standing directly in front of the guardian. "If you want him," Ethan said. Voice shaking but strong, "you go through me." Gasps rippled through the council channel. A single human, standing between galactic power and an ancient guardian. The guardian felt something new surge through his heart. Pride. The jungle reacted. Roots rose again, not to attack, but to support. Life pushed back against control. "This human is not your enemy," the guardian said at last. "He is proof." The suppression fields faltered across the fleet. Systems failed as the planet itself rejected the force placed upon it. The council ships began to pull back, one by one. "This is not over," a commander warned. Ethan lowered his arm, exhausted. "It is if you learn." The fleet retreated into the stars. Ethan collapsed to his knees. The guardian caught him instantly. "You placed yourself between worlds," the guardian said quietly. Ethan closed his eyes. Someone had to. And across the galaxy, a single truth began to spread. Human courage did not come from strength, that it came from standing when no one else would. The jungle of Verdant 9. Breathed freely again, winds moved through the trees, carrying new life across the planet. Rivers that had run dry began to flow. The ancient tree stood at the center of it all, glowing softly, no longer a prison but a living heart. Ethan sat on a smooth stone near the Guardian's feet. His body was weak, but his mind was clear. The Guardian stood tall beside him, free and whole, watching the sky with calm eyes. "They will not forget," Ethan said. "Even if they retreat." "No," the Guardian replied. "Truth spreads slowly, but once it takes root, it cannot be erased." Above them, faint stars flickered as long-range probes arrived. Not warships, observers. The Council was watching, listening, waiting for proof. The Guardian turned toward the ancient tree. "It is time," he said. The ground opened gently, not with violence, but with purpose. Light poured upward as the life core revealed itself. Ethan shielded his eyes, stunned by its beauty. "This is what they feared," the Guardian continued. "Not my strength, knowledge." Images filled the air around them. Not holograms, but memories. Worlds being healed. Poisoned skies restored. Dead planets brought back to life. The Guardian and others like him standing silently, protecting balance while lesser minds called it domination. Ethan watched, heart pounding. "You saved them," he whispered. Double quotes, "Yes," the Guardian said. "And they chained us for it." The memories spread beyond the clearing, across Council networks, into hidden archives. Truth that had been buried for centuries now flowed freely. The observers above reacted instantly. Panic spread through the galactic channels. Records were being rewritten in real time. Accusations turned inward. Ethan felt the weight of history shifting. "You could have destroyed them for what they did," Ethan said. The Guardian looked down at him. "Power without restraint is fear. You taught me that your kind understands restraint." The Guardian lowered himself, bringing his massive form closer to Ethan's level. For the first time, the size difference did not feel like distance. "My heart was not only stopped by chains," the Guardian said. "It was stopped by betrayal. You reminded me why it beat in the first place." A signal pulsed from Ethan's suit. Incoming transmission. A Council representative appeared, their voice unsteady. "Guardian and human. The Council acknowledges." "An error." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "That's new." The representative continued. "We request dialogue, not control." The Guardian stood slowly. The ancient tree responded, light dimming as the planet stabilized. "There will be no chains." The Guardian said. "No silence." The Council agreed. Across the galaxy, reactions exploded. Some worlds cheered, others feared change. But all watched. Ethan felt something else, an internal alarm. His suit confirmed it. Life support failure approaching. The energy transfer he had made earlier had cost him more than he realized. The Guardian sensed it instantly. "You are fading," the Guardian said, fear touching his voice for the first time. Ethan smiled weakly. "Guess I overdid it." The Guardian placed a hand over Ethan's chest, careful, focused. The ancient tree glowed again, feeding energy into the Guardian, and then into Ethan. Pain flashed, then warmth. The Guardian stopped. "This will bind you to this world," he warned. "You may never leave." Ethan did not hesitate. "If it keeps the truth alive, do it." The Guardian made his choice. Energy flowed gently this time, balanced and precise. Ethan's heartbeat steadied. His breath deepened. He lived. When the light faded, Ethan sat up, stronger than before. The Guardian stepped back. Satisfied. "The stars will argue," the Guardian said. "Politics will fight. But balance has returned." Ethan looked up at the sky. "Then let's make sure they don't forget." The Guardian nodded. Together, Human and Guardian stood beneath the ancient tree as the galaxy watched. The truth had escaped the shadows, and nothing could bind it again. The stars above Verdant 9 looked different now. They did not feel distant or cold. They felt close, like silent witnesses. Ships hovered far away, keeping their distance. No weapons were aimed. No chains were prepared. The galaxy was watching. But it was no longer hunting. Ethan stood beside the Guardian at the base of the ancient tree. His body felt stronger than before, but more than that, he felt changed. The planet's life pulsed softly beneath his feet, steady and calm. "You are part of this world now," the Guardian said. Ethan nodded. "I don't feel trapped." "You are not," the Guardian replied. "You chose this." Across the sky, a council broadcast went live, not hidden, not filtered. Every major world was listening. The same leaders who once called the Guardian a monster now stood before the galaxy. "We were wrong," the lead speaker said. "We feared what we did not understand. We allowed that fear to become law." A wave of reaction spread across the stars. Shock, anger, relief, hope. The Guardian did not speak. He let the truth stand on its own. Records were opened. History was corrected. Guardian-class beings were no longer listed as threats, but as protectors. Worlds that had suffered began to heal as others like him were freed. Ethan watched it all in silence. "You could leave now," the Guardian said softly. "Your people will come for you." Ethan thought about Earth, about space stations and metal halls, about fear dressed as safety. He shook his head. "Not yet." The Guardian's eyes softened. "Then you will help me teach." Days passed. Scientists arrived, not soldiers. They studied the life core, learning how balance worked instead of control. Children from nearby worlds came to see the giant who healed planets. They were not afraid. One small alien child asked Ethan, "Were you scared?" Ethan smiled. "Yes." "Then why did you help him?" Ethan looked up at the Guardian. "Because fear shouldn't decide who deserves to live." The Guardian heard that. His heart beat strong and clear, no longer burdened by chains or lies. One night, as twin moons rose, the Guardian knelt beside the ancient tree. Ethan stood with him. "My heart was once forced to stop," the Guardian said. "Now it beats for more than this world." He placed a massive hand over his chest. The sound echoed deep, steady, alive. "Because of you," he continued, "the galaxy remembers what mercy looks like." Ethan felt emotion rise in his throat. "I just did what felt right." "That," the Guardian said, "is why it mattered." A final council message arrived. They offered Ethan honors, titles, power. He declined them all. Instead, a new role was created, one that had never existed before: human liaison to the Guardians. A bridge, not a weapon. As the stars shifted and ships departed peacefully, Ethan sat beneath the ancient tree. The Guardian stood watch, no longer alone. Across the galaxy, stories spread. Not about a monster, not about a weapon, but about a human who walked into fear, placed a hand on a dying heart, and chose kindness over safety. And because of that choice, giant alien lived. A planet healed. And the galaxy learned that sometimes the strongest force in the universe is not power. It is a single heart brave enough to care.